Hi, and welcome to Real Raw Talk. I am your host, Vanetta Farai, and this is my co-host, Michael.
Hi, my name is Zen Michael Dyer.
Hello, I'm Kristen.
Hi, I'm Tristan.
Okay, so we're going to jump right in, and today's topic is, do players really want a committed relationship? Okay, I'll elaborate for a minute. I think deep down inside they do. I think they really do. I think the player thing or the player role, and that's what it is, a role, is a cover-up for their insecurities. What's your take on that, Tristan? I know you had a thought.
Yeah. Well, I would like to, and I have been called a player before, but I would like a committed relationship. I can only speak for myself. Okay,
that's good. That's good. What do you think, Kristen?
I agree with you. You know, I'm all about I agree with the fact that a lot of players hide that act under a lot of baggage, or you could say insecurities, but also just like upbringing things that, you know, just ways that they've been maybe accustomed to doing things because they've seen it. And so I feel like there's a lot of different aspects that go into playerhood. But I do believe that they genuinely just want that individual connection with one person.
Could you define player for us?
Yeah.
I would like Kristen to define that because she had a word for it.
Playerhood?
Tell them break down player.
Oh, wow.
You broke it down before. You don't remember?
I don't know.
Okay.
I do kind of remember it, but
okay.
I just know that I just feel like it's when you're just not having, you can't stick with one person and you dibble and dabble in with a few, having one on the side, I don't know, even it could be main squeeze and one on the side, or a few on the side, you know? I feel like there's levels to it.
Well, another, I'll define it, okay? And I'm gonna copy you since you don't remember.
Okay.
Play her.
Oh, yeah.
A player is playing her.
Yes.
Okay. So, but basically, it is in terms of the old-fashioned definition. It's one that he's not committed to one woman.
So he's dating like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
Or she's playing. She can be a player as well, right?
No, we're talking about the man.
Only a male can be a player.
Well, no, the female can definitely be a player. That's a whole nother thing. But she could.
Yeah, we don't talk about player. We got to look at the men and the women. You can't just say. You got to call both out. You know.
Good.
So I just want to understand this thing about the player. So they're dating more than one person, and the people don't know about each other.
Yeah, a lot of times they do. And you know, ironically, and I had my mom and my aunt, they gave me this wisdom when I was younger, because I didn't know it, and none of you guys have probably heard of it, but they call them. So let's say that you're dating me, you're dating Kristen, you're dating both of us. We might even have some kids together. No, but we might have kids. But here's the point: we know about each other, and we're cool with it. And you know what they call us? If we're cool with it,
what?
They call us sisters. Like it's all in the family.
That's stuff right
there. That is funny. But there are people doing this every day.
So that's like leading up to a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like, but I guess it doesn't end up that way.
Yeah, but people do it. They do it all the time, and they know about each other. But it goes back to that self-worth thing. You know, it goes back to that, what we were talking about earlier. It's like, do you know your worth?
Right.
And will you tolerate this? Because deep down, you can't be happy with this. But you pretend to be just to hold on to that person.
So do you guys frown on playing, or you okay with it?
Oh.
See, go ahead.
No, I wouldn't be okay with it if I liked the guy. I mean, if he was a time filler, it might be okay. Because, yeah, like you said, I might have couple of other time fillers, you know. But if I liked him, I wouldn't be okay with it, no.
You okay with a guy being a player?
No, I mean, no.
But you okay with a girl being a player?
A girl being a player,
sure.
Sure.
You're okay with it?
Is she dating me?
Yes, she's dating
you.
She's dating me for her to be the one?
She's dating you, and she's dating other guys, too, and you know about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's dating me and dating other guys for a reason. Like, I would date a girl and other women for a reason. Like, I'm getting to know
But would you call her a player, though, or somebody just dating?
No, I'm dating her. Yeah, she's dating.
So is she a player or what?
It would... Okay, player has the context of you are manipulating people to their detriment or hurting.
And that's what it is, a player?
Huh?
You're manipulating?
I would say so, yeah. I would say so. That's what it is. So as long as she's not manipulating me in any kind of way, but we have an honest communication about what's going on, we're dating. That's fine.
So we'll define a player as somebody who make each person feel like they're the one.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, right.
That's good.
So each person feel like they're the one, so he's playing them all. He got this game going on. Okay, interesting though, interesting thing though, because the fact is that he's making each person, he's manipulating a line to each one, or she, but it's interesting, player seems like a glorified name, but if a woman did that, what you call her?
Slut.
A hoe.
Exactly.
A slut, right? And yet, a guy can do it, hey, he's a player. What up?
He's in the
a
game,
girl does it.
right.
What is that?
That's it.
She's a what?
She's a hoe. It's a double standard.
Right.
It's a double standard.
It's funny how we create this thing, and like we're talking about player. I mean, let's say he's a hoe. You know, let's take that power away from, because it sounds like, because to hear what you guys are saying, I want to be a player. It sounds like fun. Player? Wow.
Yeah.
I get to have her.
So why do you think it's like that?
I think because, oh, you know what, that's a good question. Why do I think, well, it's been a hard question.
I'm asking you. You know, spotlight's
I think it's like that because people really want, and I think we talked about last time, is monogamous natural. I think people can like different people. Instead of being honest and saying, hey, you know what, I'm going out with you, and I'm going out with you, and I'm going out with her, you know, and I want to get to know all of you, all three of you at the same time. But that's not really going to happen, is it?
Well, what about
Maybe some people though.
What about the guy that will straight out tell you, you know, we can have some fun, you know, I like you, you're cool, but I'm not looking for a commitment. And you hear that all the time. And sometimes the women will say that as well. I'm not looking for a commitment right now. I don't hear it all the time personally. I mean, I've heard it before. I have heard it before, but I don't hear it all the time. I mean, not personally. I just mean in general. That's a line that guys say all the time. You know, and it could be true. Maybe they're into their business more. You know.
But guys only say it to certain girls.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what.
They don't tell all the girls that. They just tell certain ones that they really don't want to be with. They just like, you know, I can get away with this with her.
She's a time.
Because a girl that has self-esteem, really? No, that's not. I'm not fine with that. Bye. See you later. Nice meeting you.
Well, you know what? I think it was interesting that you said when a woman does it, it's a whole different connotation. Okay, because they have this word thought. You guys heard of thought, right? Yeah. She's a thought. Okay. So for you, those of you guys who may not know, like Michael, it stands for that hoe over there. Just so interesting.
I didn't know the actual acronym.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And so, you know, they have what we call, I just heard recently, because there's this guy on our job, on my other job, and he is like, tries to go to all the women. He's always like trying to rub on them and, you know, give them a kiss or a hug on the cheek, a kiss on the cheek, you know, but he's always just in everybody's face, right? And so I was asking my one friend, I'm like, well, do you like him? Do you think he's cute? And she's like, yeah, but he's a man whore. And he heard it. And he says, you guys think I'm a man whore? You know, so it's like, now they're calling the men that too, that do that, you know, but that leads me to another question. Why is it that people always seem to want who they can't have? That person becomes so much more interesting. You know, it's like, so this same guy, there's this one chick that's just like throwing herself at him in his face all the time. But no, he doesn't like, he just like takes her for granted. He's like not into her. But the woman who's not interested, that just kind of blows him off and, you know, like he's almost like a joke. Then he's all over her. Why do we do that? Is it the mystery?
I think it's all a game. It's literally like just like it's a player. You got a player, you got the players, you playing a game. You playing a game, so it's like it's not fun to try to get someone that you already know is got. They already got. You got. So it's like who's next?
Do you think that they're too easy? Is that what it is? Do you think they're too easy? I mean, what is it? I'm curious about that.
Come back to me.
Come back to you? Okay, well then I'll go to myself. Because you're always talking about the guy who I didn't like who was short, right? Right. And so it was like, and I'm looking at him and I want to ask him this question, but I don't want to like hurt his ego. And I'm thinking, why do you like me? Can't you see that I'm towering over you? Why do you even like me? And so then, you know, he happens to be divorced, right? And so I asked him a question one time. I'm like, yeah, your ex-wife, she's this little petite woman, you know, she's like a little petite woman, right? And he started laughing. He goes, no, my ex-wife was taller than me. Oh my God, so he likes the tall women, you know what I mean? So it's just like, people want, but I know that he finds me challenging because this guy has money. So, you know, people with money, they're even more arrogant because they're so used to being able to like buy people and get their way because they have money. You know what I mean? But your money doesn't mean anything to me because I can make my own money. It might take me a little longer, a lot longer than you. I can get there. So, I mean, what's your opinion of it? I'd like to know.
My thinking on this is you wanting something that you can't have. I mean, you think about that for a moment. I want what I can't have.
Right.
You know, so I'm going to go with the person that's reject me because it's not about the love that I want. It's my self-esteem that I'm trying to build.
Oh, that's a good
And so therefore, if I can get you to like me, if I can get you to love me, then that means I'm valuable. So it's all about, you know, it's all about the fact that this person looking for validation, looking for somebody to love them. And once they get you, all of a sudden now they move on to what?
Right, the next
The next one. Because it has nothing to do with you. It's the fact that I'm insecure, therefore I'm seeking out something that I can't have.
Right.
That's a good one. That's a good
Slow
one.
motion this side.
You know, and I guess you have to look at that. Like, okay, what is that all about?
Well, you know what, that leads me to something else. What about the narcissist? What about that narcissistic personality? You know what I mean? I mean, they're all over the place. And they don't even realize how insecure they are and how immature they really look. But they're everywhere. And they're really, in my opinion, I think they're selfish people. You know? I mean, what's your take on that? You're a psychology student. Tell me something about the narcissistic personality. Is that a turnoff for you?
Oh, yeah. It's a turnoff for me for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's no me. Like, you know, I just feel like it's like if you're narcissistic, it's literally all about you. And I'm honestly though, I'm a type of person that I want to get to know a lot about the other person anyways, and so I have the tendency to actually like hone in more on another person. But when it comes to just like when you're just really too full of yourself and you can't like acknowledge my traits or whatever, or like give me as much affirmation or more than you give yourself, then that's the problem.
Right.
Well, how do you know the difference between somebody who is right? How do you know the difference between those two?
Because the narcissist can actually manipulate the situation to look as if they're interested in you, but they're really trying to get their own needs met.
Right.
So it's like, that's a good question, Michael. I don't know how you.
How do you know?
Well, for one thing, they're extremely boring. They're like totally I, me. You could be telling them something about yourself, and they immediately go into what they're doing and what's going on with them. And it's like, is this person even seeing me? Is he hearing me? Is he listening to me? Is he tuned in? What's going on?
See, I would ask myself, why would I attract someone like that?
Boom.
You know, I have to go back to why would I attract someone like that? Am I so needy? Because sometimes if I'm a needy person, I'm making all these demands on that person, then I might label them as, you're so selfish. It could be that I'm so needy, you know, so interesting, go ahead.
I think that's always great to do though, that's the thing. I feel like it's never just like, when you have an opinion about someone just in general, like it's never just about that person. It's like, okay, like let's reflect that on like, what is my thing too, you know? So I think that's a good point that you brought up in regards to like, which one is it? It's both. Like,
right.
But you can only control one. So it's like, okay, let me figure out what this is. So that's a whole nother thing too. But you know, I feel like that's super important. So good point.
Well, we attract all kind of people for all kind of different reasons. So that's really kind of loaded, you know what I mean? Because it's like at one point in my life, I was attracting nothing but either I was attracting a lot of chemical dependent people. And that includes, you know, alcohol and drugs, because I think alcohol is just liquid dope, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, and I'm not like that, and I'm thinking, what is in me? And I'm questioning myself, why am I attracting these people? You know what I mean?
And what'd you come up with?
I never really came up with the answer. I take that back. I came up with, I gotta just like kind of be by myself and focus on, you know, my own needs, you know, and not try to be too attentive, you know, or because you can't fix anybody. Because, you know, I mean, have you ever dealt with a fixer-upper?
A fixer-upper.
A fixer-upper. You know what a fixer-upper is, right? We know what a fixer-upper is.
The work that I do with clients is that I realize that people are vibrating at a level. And I'm attracting certain people in my life. In order for me to attract certain people in my life, then everybody's not coming in my life. So therefore, I'm attracting certain people that are maybe needy, might be addicted. So I have to ask myself, what is in me that I'm addicted to? What am I that I feel that I need? Yeah. You know, when I heal that part, then I open up space for me to create a healthy relationship. And I think that we've all been there. You know, I always say to people, I used to find myself keep dating the same girl over and over, but in a different body. But who's the common denominator? You. For real? You know what I mean? I was a common denominator. So if we can begin to look at the truth of take responsibility for my part and that I'm the common denominator, then I can say, okay, instead of trying to change the mirror or change her or talk about they're addicted, I need to look at what's in me that's craving something or not feeling that. Because you think about a person that's addicted is what? A person is what? They're probably hurting. And they're trying to cover something, hide something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So in me, what is that thing in me that's hurting? You know, was the fact that I was abandoned by my mom and my dad? You know, so there you go. Yeah.
So what makes a narcissist then? And how would you attract a narcissist in your life?
Define a narcissist from your point of view. When you say narcissist, what is it?
So that's a person that, if I was a narcissistic person, that would mean that I am totally arrogant, totally into myself, totally self-absorbed, you know, to the point where I can't even see you because I'm so self-absorbed. You know what I mean? It's all about me. I got to have my way, you know, and it's like what you had said earlier, what are you going to give to me? Because I need to feel validated, you know, so so that's a narcissist.
So what's the opposite of a narcissist? Somebody what?
Somebody who's totally secure and confident and okay in their own skin.
What's wrong with somebody having their way? If you say a narcissist, somebody who wants to have their way, it's all about them. Because when you look at it on a real level, most people it's all about them. Most people are like in a relationship not because they want to give something, but they're in it because they want to get something, receive something. Very few people go in relationships like, oh, I want to be with you because I want to give you so much love, I want to serve you. Usually we want something back. Now, maybe not everybody, but from my research, and that we seem to be selfish. And we're not in a way, like if a person came to you and said, you know what, I found somebody else, and I don't want to be with you anymore, and she makes me happier. Would you celebrate that, or would you be pretty upset? If you could be honest.
If I would be honest, I would be hurt.
Yeah, thank you.
But I wouldn't be to the point where, okay, you know what, I'm going to be, yeah. I mean,
think about, I'm happy I'm happy over here, and you're not happy for us?
Right.
You say you love me.
But then it's like, it just ends up, you can just put it both ways, where it's just like, okay, but then you're being selfish because you're just going to leave me, or like leave me hanging and then like worry about yourself. Yeah. But like, so I'm just saying, you kind of, that battle, I feel like we can beat that with it, you know, I don't know.
She has a point. She has a point, Michael.
Is somebody who's too unhealthy in their behavior. Their behavior is unhealthy to the point where they're manipulating other people to a certain degree that is not healthy for the other people. To me, you would attract a narcissist if you don't feel validated within yourself, and if you are seeking attention. If you don't feel like you have had enough attention growing up, you would find yourself dating a narcissist.
Powerful.
Okay, so final two questions, and it's a part 1 and 2. Is a player or the player type a narcissist? And number 2, do they really want, deep down inside, do they want to be in a real committed relationship, and is it a cover-up? Those are final 2 questions.
Let's talk to a player. Pass the mic.
No, you said that you were a player, so let's start with you. At one point in your life. Okay, so you're a psychology major student, graduate student. Okay, so explain that to me, those part 1 and 2.
Part 1 is a player a narcissist to a certain degree. It depends on the person, because when we look into our society right now, a lot of people are very heavily motivated by hip hop music. And hip hop music has this culture of be a player. It is the thing to do. Sports. It's okay for sports to have a wife, but then they also have their other women. And it's okay. It may be looked at as bad, but they do it anyway. You know? So to a certain degree, it depends on the person.
Okay.
And then I also think that person can be influenced by social media, our society, to where they lose themselves into trying to be like somebody else.
Can we make this a little more interesting? Why would you be or not be a player?
I would be a player because it looks like it's beneficial. It looks as if I'm getting some needs met.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
And why would you not be a player?
I would not be a player because it is against my values and principles.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now that's real, because I think the people listening, they're connecting with that. You know, what's underneath the player? You know, and I agree with you. I would be a player because the benefit, I get to experience all these different types of beautiful people, you know, and have fun and enjoy. And each one of them probably brings something different to the table, to the relationship.
Right.
You know, we're not gonna go into that, but you know, but that's the fact. And why I wouldn't do it is the fact is that if I find myself hurting them, if they think, this is exclusive, and all of a sudden, you know, but it's not, and I'm manipulating them, then I would not want to do it for that reason.
Okay, so is a player a narcissist, and do they really want a committed relationship? Final thoughts.
The narcissist thing for me, I can't really deal with, because a narcissist sounds like, from hearing from you, is someone who's not well, someone is hurting, someone who's looking for something, and they need to somewhere along the way something happened to them growing up, and they need help.
Okay. So does the player want a committed relationship? Final thoughts.
It depends on the player.
In most cases, do you think the norm is that they're all looking for? Is the player thing a cover up
If I was
for what they really want?
If I was a player, it'll be a cover up, because I'm looking for someone who can embody all the 4 people that I'm dating.
Okay.
My idea is to have that one. But because I can't have that one, then I'm playing, because each one will bring something very powerful to the table.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, so we're going to wrap this show, and thank you so much for watching. And hey, if no one has told you they love you today, we love you.